What's up, Duck Nation? College Football Nation, this is UODuckBros, and today, for the first video of the season, we brought in a special guest. This is Aaron Bingham, diehard Duck fan with an awesome old-ass Oregon sweatshirt.
I'm still sporting it, Gramps. Still sporting it.
Love it. What did you say that was, from like the 70s?
Yeah, I think so. It was my grandpa's. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet, man. Good
I
stuff. So, brand new season. Full of interesting things that happened in the offseason, like a whole bunch of players transferring away. We got a new recruit who is injured for the season with that Todd Griffin kid.
Yep.
Which sucks for him, but he'll be all right. And we've got the legend of Royce Freeman budding like crazy.
Rolls Royce, baby.
Man, I really hope he gets to play this week.
Yeah, that guy's going to do damage.
He's really good.
I've seen
Really,
the question.
He's really good.
I've seen the question thrown out there. Do you think that Oregon possibly? I know this is a stretch, but does Oregon possibly get 3,000-yard rushers?
I mean, they're
It's
all talented
absolutely
enough.
possible.
It's obvious.
It is absolutely
I don't see why not. I mean, the likelihood that Royce Freeman gets enough carries to make that happen, I don't know. But I mean, the talent is there. It's definitely doable. But I can't wait to watch Royce run the football. I think it's going to be a really.
Do you think he cracks the starting position?
I think he'll. I don't think he's going to start, but I think he'll be playing significant minutes though.
Good. I mean, this is what week one is going to be. It's going to be the ultimate tune-up game, provided that nothing catastrophic happens. No major injuries, because Oregon does not need any more of those. There's been plenty, i.e. Tyler Johnstone being out for the year, Braylon Addison being out for nobody knows
at
how
least
much time.
half the season.
Maybe.
At least.
We'll see. I mean, he's been rehabbing a lot quicker than anybody would have thought, really. But yeah, you're probably right, about half season. And then just the slew of other things. Raheem Castle, gone. One of the Robinson kids, gone. Backup quarterbacks, Damian Hobbs, gone. Jake Rodriguez, gone.
Yep. Dropping like flies, man.
I mean, can we get a break somewhere, for the love of God?
Yeah,
Well,
I think Rolls Royce might be that break. I think that guy's going to tear it up, as well as Tony James. I think he's going to do some damage.
And Jonathan Lloyd, yeah.
People may be familiar with Jonathan Lloyd being the basketball player on the Oregon Ducks team. He hasn't played football in about 5 years or so, but reports were coming out of camp that he has actually been doing pretty well at the receiving position. He's picking up the offense pretty well, but he is really fast.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's definitely got the speed. So.
That's just another weapon to add to the whole arsenal that Oregon already has.
So the biggest question going into the season is probably the receiving core, if anything, really, just because, and
linebacker.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest question really for any Oregon fan is going to be, do we finally dominate the line of scrimmage on the offensive side of the football? And do we keep from getting smashed on the defensive side of the football by the Stanfords of the world, Michigan State, teams that are more
Definitely the
physical?
Michigan States of the world, because that's very important. I love that we haven't talked about South Dakota at all yet.
Well, look, it's a footnote.
It's an extension of training camp.
It really is. Now, obviously, we'll get into that in a minute, but I do believe that part of this, these are things that are, I think, important to address because, going forward, they're going to be talking points all season long as far as has Oregon progressed in the red zone? How are they going to do once they get there? Are they going to be more efficient? Are we going to even see some different looks maybe from Scott Frost in the play calling department? Are we going to be running a pro style? Are we going to be running goal line stuff?
You just took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to say, are they finally going to regress in a way back to like the 2001 times when they had packages like that? Because Royce Freeman is a dude that you could, or Thomas Tyner, both of those guys could be a dude that you could just pound up the middle in the red zone and you can get good yards that way.
Yeah.
It's just whether they decide to do it or not. Because we thought they were going to do it last year, but they didn't do it necessarily.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that they're not creative enough to get in the end zone with the offense they have, But when you get into inside the 20, if we haven't scored already, we've seen it millions of times now where, not having a fullback, not having that smash mouth offensive line that just goes straight ahead and bulldozes people, it's a detriment to the offense in that regard. It's almost like our own Achilles heels ourselves. But I do think that that's going to be interesting going forward is what we look like in situations where we need to score a touchdown, where we need to get short yardage to get a first down or extend a drive. Just little tiny things that last year were missing, and it was pretty evident once Chip Kelly was gone that there were some things that we had regressed in, but there were some evolutionary things that we had progressed in as far as the passing game was concerned. I thought was a lot better under Helfrich. We threw the ball a lot more, but
I'm probably not going to see any drop off in that category.
I don't think so.
Obviously.
But yeah, I do believe that most Oregon fans are going to look to those things and really how deep we are. Is it really the next man up like it always has been, or is it going to be a little bit of a regression or a kind of like a, I guess if you will, like coaching them up? You know what I mean?
Yeah, some development pieces for sure. I think that the strength of this offense. Yeah, you may have lost a few in receivers, but I think Mariota is so good.
Yeah.
And he really puts the ball there that you almost can't not catch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's untested is what it is. Like, we don't know enough information about the receivers as it is outside of just a couple of them.
And the thing is that with every year, at least with me for Oregon, I've always noticed there's always a guy that kicks ass that I didn't know about.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a guy.
Your Jeff Mayles. Of the
yeah,
world.
There's always a guy that shows up and you're like, wow,
yeah.
like that guy's talented. So I think we'll have another guy like that. There's going to be some sleeper that shows up that's going to put in work. So
I think it's going to be one of those situations where it's kind of like the emergence of tight ends for this year because they're going to rely on that a little bit more. Going to be plenty of Johnny Munt action.
Yeah,
love Munt.
Johnny Munt's
Munt
a stud.
Love Munt.
I'm going to miss Colt in some ways because
the dude was just a freak athlete,
he was
man.
So athletic.
Whether he was on, the booger sugar or not, that dude was just really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he would have kept it together,
absolutely
dangerous.
You know what though? I think another talking point for this year is going to be really, defensively, because this is kind of uncharted territory. Is the secondary minus EFO is relatively untested and they're new. Which Oregon really hasn't had in quite a while. We've been fortunate to have a lot of leadership and a lot of experience in the secondary, which has usually been our strength, which now may turn out to be our weakness, where we may be turning to the experience of the defensive line.
Well, now,
to be anchoring that defense more so.
Not to mention, this is the first year in how long without Nick Aliotti running the helm there,
right?
So there is an adjustment point there, but I think that Oregon fans are gonna like it. I think that Pelham's gonna kind of give the defense something that they've been needing, and I think that this will also be the year that the defensive line shows up a little bit more.
Yeah,
I think that Ron Aiken is a good quality coach for that sort of thing. I think that it was just a matter of time before that really starts to blossom.
Well, another year under Ron Aiken I think is going to make a big difference for these guys. I do expect Eric Armstead to finally live up to the hype. He's been
let's hope so.
Yeah, a 5-star kid. He's just a monster, but he plays like a teddy bear.
Yeah.
You expect him to just be wreaking havoc in the backfield, and he hasn't been horrible, but when you have expectations for a highly touted recruit and they don't really pan out, it's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially in places where you need it so bad.
Mm-hmm.
If it turns out that, God forbid Tony James or Royce doesn't turn out, all right, whatever. We got Marshall, we got Tyner, but in this D line, you need those guys.
Yeah.
You need them to show up.
For those games, like Stanford, like UCLA, like any team that can cause problems at that spot of the ball. So,
yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be a really interesting year. But as far as this particular game is concerned, I mean, there's really not a lot that I know about the team we're playing. I know that it's going to be over by halftime.
Yeah, well, I think probably outside of their college town, not a lot of people know.
No, I mean, they are...
No respect for Jacksonville.
No, they are definitely... they're a Division II, or subdivision team, I'm sorry.
Right.
I mean, they're part of a conference that, nobody talks about in the actual, main scope of college football. I mean, South Dakota is basically getting themselves a nice little paycheck.
That's it.
For coming out, and I mean they'll get some experience playing against one of the nation's top teams. I mean that's exactly what it is. It's probably going to be a bit of a bore fest really after about halftime.
There's a reason why the tickets are going for $9.
Mm-hmm.
I mean
that's a good deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you want to go watch Oregon play for real cheap. And get home at a decent hour. That's the one.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
It might be better than the spring game.
I mean, what do you expect yardage wise for Mariota in the first game?
Well, he's
not very much. I don't think he'll play. I mean, he'll play the first quarter.
He'll play
maybe
he'll play first half. Yeah. They won't risk anything after that. Here's the thing. He definitely has potential to set 3 records in this game. He needs.
Question is, will he?
I think
play long enough to get it.
He needs 336 total yards to set the all-purpose yards record for Oregon. I think he needs just a couple more touchdowns to surpass Darren Thomas for passing touchdowns in career. And there was one more, I can't remember what it is, but he could totally break all of them in this game if he comes out, all cylinders firing. So that'd be tough. I mean, he's gonna get them all anyways this season.
Yeah, I think it'd be cooler if he did it against Michigan State.
Oh, without a doubt.
Well, I mean, if he doesn't do it here, he will definitely do it there. So
yeah.
So without further ado, score prediction time.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Oh boy, I'm gonna go 60-0. I don't really expect much other than that. I think Oregon's going to blow them out.
Not even the sympathy 3, huh?
No, I don't think we're even going to give them that. I think it's going to be a nice... Because Oregon wants to go in with momentum going into the Michigan State game, and I think they really need to set the tone. This is going to be a nice kind of easing into the big game coming up next week after this. So I expect Oregon to play at a pretty high level throughout the entire game and stay pretty dialed in for the whole game.
By the way, it's nice to know they finally learned to not schedule the big game for week 1. The LSU game, the Boise game. You finally figured it out.
Although the Boise game we didn't really know was a big game until it became a big game.
It was still 2 ranked teams.
True.
Oregon probably should have won that one, and
they didn't.
We all know how that went.
Right.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I don't necessarily love that you go Michigan State after such an easy win. I wish there was like another middle of the road game that somebody that wasn't as bad as South Dakota obviously, but somebody that still we're gonna win, but is a little more difficult.
Right.
So hopefully they don't go in with too big of a head. I hope we're hungry. I hope we still feel like we got something to prove and a little chip on the shoulder.
Well, now that we got that college football playoff thing going on, I feel like you kind of have to have that mindset all the way through because it's not a computers thing anymore. Now you got human pull everywhere. So
what's your score?
Oof. I think they'll put up a touchdown. I think 60-7.
60-7.
60-7. Okay. All right. For me, I'm going 69-3. I'll give them the sympathy 3. And I think that it's going to be a situation of either Matt Wogan's going to miss an extra point because we've seen it before, or after the first touchdown scored, they try to do the real quick hurry up for the 2-point conversion and they totally don't get it. And people are going to throw their hands up and be like, what the hell? And it won't matter because we're still going to win by 60. So there you have it.
All right. Well, hooray for college football being here, huh?
No
Absolutely.
kidding.
Good grief.
And you see how relaxed we are. But week 2,
this will not be the same demeanor.
Yeah. Gray hair all the way through. Bald spot right back here.
For sure.
Yeah, I'll probably be watching it from a hospital.
I'll probably be recovering from heart failure. I may even watch the game with heart paddles nearby. I have no clue. So
I need a defibrillator, stat.
Yeah. Get over here.
So, well, there we go. So, this is week 1, UODuckBros. Thanks for stopping by, and as always, go Ducks.
Go Ducks.
Go Ducks.